They have made comments similar to the comments in the Quran. Let me tell you, listen, in the Quran, when it says that a man can beat his wife, the commentators say that I recommend you, if you beat your wife in our days, use a toothbrush. I asked my wife, how would you react if I would come and say, now I'm going to beat you with a toothbrush? She would be very insulted. It would give just as much pain as if I said a bad word. Now, the commentators, they have been sometimes very liberal. They belong even sometimes to those who betrayed the Christian faith, because those commentators, they were influenced by certain religions and atheism. And we have had in this country even socialistic theologians that have denied the divinity of Jesus Christ because they have more of a political idea than a Christian idea. And we cannot accept that, but the Bible is not changed because some theologians have made wrong comments.
Ladies and gentlemen, in the beginning of this meeting, a format was agreed. That is, the first speaker delivers his talk for 50 minutes, the second speaker for 60 minutes, and the first speaker then again avails his remaining 10 minutes. However, Pastor Stanley, who wished to answer some of the remaining questions, decided to acquire extra time. To be fair, therefore, we would have to give similar time to Mr. Deedat.
Yes. You know, when you lay down rules, boxing, wrestling, any game, and when the fellow is knocked out, he said, look, I'd like to have another second chance. But never mind, out of grace, I mean, there's much is involved. We give our brother the latitude. Now, they're giving me 5 minutes also. Thank you very much. You see, Pastor Stanley mentioned that the Quran also speaks about the Torah, which is the law of Moses, and the Injil, meaning the gospel of Jesus, no doubt. See, there is a relationship between the teachings of Moses, Jesus, and Muhammad. To us Muslims, in actual fact, this is all one religion. There's only one religion. These are not three distinct religions, but it's a different subject. As soon as I start expounding that, you need more time. But the Quran tells us that we believe in the principle that Moses was inspired by God, David was inspired by God, Jesus was inspired by God, and whatever they gave out in the respective times, it was from God, infallible. But those words were not preserved in their pristine purity. That is what we are questioning. We're not questioning Moses, but what was written was not written by Moses. If he had signed his name, no problem. If Jesus had countersigned Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John, there would have been no problem. But since Jesus didn't write a word, in his lifetime not a word was written. He didn't write it, nor did anybody write a word in his lifetime. These are all books, anonymous books. And the Christian scholars are telling us they have no ulterior motives. I might have, but not your scholars. What ulterior motive do they have to tell you that Matthew has used Mark's gospel freely? In the language of the school teacher, he was copying wholesale from Mark. And Mark was not even one of the 12 disciples of Jesus. Why should an eyewitness and a ear witness like Matthew go and copy somebody who wasn't there? It doesn't make sense. And in the book itself, Matthew tells us, Matthew 9:9, it says, while he, Jesus, was going forth into the way, Jesus saw a tax collector called Matthew. And he, Jesus, comes up to him and he says to Matthew, follow me. And he, Matthew, followed him, Jesus. Who wrote that? God write it? Did Jesus write it? No. Did Matthew write it? No.
Yes.
If Matthew wrote it, he would say, while he was going forth into the way, he saw me at the tax collector's table, and he came up to me and told me to follow him, and I followed him. This is written by somebody else. But now, Mr. Chairman, Ms. Chair Lady, and my dear brothers and sisters, we should give you the opportunity now to fire your questions for and against. You have a right to question me. You have a right to question the pastor. You have this privilege. And tomorrow night, pastor has already given you an introduction about Jesus. That was not the subject. You see, he was pulling wool over our eyes. The subject is the Bible, God's word, and not Jesus. What we believe that he was one. I end with this. We believe, in Islam we believe that Jesus Christ was one of the mightiest messengers of God. We believe that Jesus was the Christ, Messiah, translated Christ. We believe in his miraculous birth, that without any male intervention he was born, which many modern day bishops of the Anglican Church, they don't believe today. We Muslims, we believe that Jesus Christ was born miraculously. We believe that he gave life to the dead by God's permission, and he healed those born blind and the lepers by God's permission. We are not the Antichrist. We are not the enemies of Christ. We love Jesus Christ. What we are saying is this, that he is not what you are telling us. Maybe you mean well, you are sincere. You are telling us that Jesus is the only begotten Son, begotten, not made. So I'm asking the Englishman, I don't know, you are Swedish, whether you understand English as much as the Englishman, I don't know. But I'm asking the Englishman, I says, now when you tell me begotten, not made, what are you trying to emphasize? That's all. Because I can call any one of you young men, my son, and I know you won't mind it. Your mother won't mind it, your father won't mind it. But if somebody says, is he really your son? And if I said, yes, he is my only begotten son, you know what I'm saying? Yes, that he's a bastard. That's what actually, that's what he is my begotten son, meaning he's not his father's son, he's mine. I'm swearing that young man. I have no right to do that. So I said, it's a language that you're using. In our human language, if you're so particular, why should we not be extra particular when talking about God and his relationship to his creation? That is what we are fighting about, is the terminology that you're using. We say, this is not befitting God. So we would like to share this with the audience tomorrow. I'm sure that they will come turn up. But now, the opportunity is yours. Please, go ahead and fire your questions.
We want to thank both speakers for their speeches.